One of the most idiotic ideas ever sold to humanity is this: that billions of complex, unique minds can be neatly divided into two cages, two sides, two teams, two opinions, left or right, blue or red, good or evil, and the crowd swallows it whole, smiling, while chains are fastened around their wrists. I try to have hope, but what do I see? Sheep lining up for the slaughter. Not by force, but by choice. Begging for distraction, begging for division, begging for someone to tell them what to think, so they never have to face the silence of their own mind. You don't even know who runs this world. You never will. They would never allow you to see their faces. They don't need recognition. Their power feeds on ignorance. The benefits of the whole are siphoned upward, stolen, funneled to the few who understand one thing: polarity sells, polarity distracts, and distraction weakens the whole. How do people not know this? Because the enemy is a ghost, a shadow behind the curtain, the megaphone hissing endlessly into your ears, spewing fear, rage, division, until you believe it's your own voice, until you start cheering for your own cage. The pit in your stomach grows. The short-term fix becomes your drug. Food, substances, likes, validation. You reach for them because silence terrifies you. Because silence means you'll have to face the question, who am I, outside the noise? But here's the truth most will never find. The truth is buried in silence, not in the screens, not in the shouting, not in the chaos. When you step into the void, you remember, we are fingers on the same hand, roots feeding from the same soil. What you wish upon your brother, you wish upon yourself, and the hatred you spew circles back and poisons your own lungs. I do not fear pain. I welcome it. Because pain is the thread that ties us together, across all illusions of division. Pain binds us to eternity. Pain strips away the masks. Pain forces truth into the light. So I wish you a life of love. Yes, but not the empty comfort of ignorance, not the soft bed of denial. I wish you the kind of love that awakens you, the kind of love that breaks you open and reveals what you've forgotten. Because we are more than pawns, more than sectors of opinion. We are the music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams. And the moment you remember that, the ghost behind the curtain loses its power. Carve this into your mind. Your silence is their weakness. Your unity is their nightmare. Your pain is your bond and your weapon. You've heard the truth. The ghost behind the curtain manipulates. The megaphone hisses. The sheep line up for slaughter, blinded by polarity and drowned in noise. But you, if you've made it this far, you are not here to be one of them. You are here to become something different, something stronger. The world doesn't need more followers. It doesn't need more victims. It needs warriors. Not in the sense of blind violence, but in the sense of honor, discipline, and vision. Warriors who cannot be deceived. Warriors who refuse the cage. Warriors who live by a code that makes them unbreakable. That code is simple, but not easy. It is forged in silence, in pain, in unity, and in creation. It is the 5 laws of the honorable warrior. Understand these laws. Etch them into your bones. Live by them, and no ghost, no system, no empire will ever own you again. Let us begin. Law 1. See beyond the illusion. The first law of the honorable warrior is vision. Not eyesight, but perception. The ability to see beyond the illusions designed to enslave you. Let me tell you the greatest scam ever pulled on humanity. that billions of unique, complex individuals can be simplified into two cages, two sides, two parties, two teams. They call it choice. They call it freedom. But it is nothing more than a polished prison. And people, they fall for it every single time. They reduce their infinite potential to a slogan, a color, a hashtag. They cling to it like it's their identity, blind to the fact that it was never theirs. They think they're choosing, but in truth, they're being chosen. They think they're fighting for something, but in truth, they're fighting for someone else's entertainment. The honorable warrior cannot be fooled like this. He refuses to be partitioned. He refuses to be herded into the slaughter pens of ideology. He knows better. Because polarity sells, polarity distracts, and distraction weakens the whole. Look around you. The ghost behind the curtain doesn't care who wins your petty battles. The ghost feeds on your division. Every time you spit venom at your neighbor, the ghost laughs. Every time you cut ties with family over politics, the ghost grows stronger. Every time you take the bait of outrage, you bleed your strength into their machine. It's textbook manipulation. A hive mind, buzzing with noise, too blind to notice the beekeeper extracting its honey. They keep you chasing shadows while they feast on your energy, your labor, your future. But the warrior sees it. The warrior does not stare at the puppets on stage, screaming about left and right. The warrior looks up at the strings, and beyond them, to the hands that hold them. He knows the actors are replaceable, disposable. The hand is what matters. And when you finally see the hand, the illusion shatters. So let me ask you, how long will you keep playing their game? How long will you let your identity be decided by a machine that does not care about you? How long will you keep drowning in arguments that mean nothing, while the real power slips through your fingers? An honorable warrior sharpens his perception like a blade. He studies the world, but he studies himself more. Because the greatest battlefield is the mind. The greatest illusion is that you already know the truth. But if the truth you cling to is given to you by a screen, a politician, or a corporation, it isn't truth. It's bait. The warrior does not take the bait. He asks harder questions. He sits in silence when others scream. He listens not to the megaphone of fear, but to the quiet voice that whispers from within. And here's the truth that silence reveals. We are not divided. Not truly. We are one body, fractured by lies. We are fingers of the same hand, forced to believe we are enemies, when in fact, our strength comes only from moving together. This is why the honorable warrior cannot be distracted. He will not waste his energy on the bread and circuses of the hive mind. He knows the enemy is not his brother. The enemy is the ghost, the curtain, the machine. To see beyond the illusion is to reclaim your mind. It is to refuse the poison of polarity. It is to rise above the cage and see the battlefield for what it really is. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. That is why this law must come first. Without vision, you are nothing but a pawn. With vision, you are a weapon. So carve this into your soul. The honorable warrior sees beyond the illusion. He refuses the cage. He sees the hand behind the strings. And in that vision, he finds freedom. Law 2. Master silence. The second law of the honorable warrior is silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of power. The silence that terrifies the masses because it strips away their illusions and forces them to face themselves. Look around you. People today will do anything to escape silence. They scroll endlessly. They drown themselves in noise. They reach for substances, distractions, and cheap validation. Anything to avoid the confrontation of their own mind. Because silence is a mirror, and most are horrified by what it shows them. But an honorable warrior is different. The warrior does not run from silence. He seeks it. He enters the void willingly. He walks into the emptiness that others fear and makes it his training ground. For in silence, the noise of the world dies, and what remains is truth. The ghost behind the curtain thrives on noise. The endless hiss of the megaphone, spewing fear and outrage, works only if you keep listening. It works only if you keep feeding your brain the poison. But when you retreat into silence, you cut the cord. You unplug from the machine. You reclaim your perception. And in that silence, the warrior remembers. He remembers that we are not enemies, but extensions of the same body. That we are fingers of the same hand, nourished by the same roots. That what he wishes upon others, he inevitably wishes upon himself. This is why the warrior's silence is dangerous to the system. Because silence destroys the lie of division. Silence reveals unity. But silence does more than reveal truth. It strengthens resolve. In silence, the warrior learns to master his own mind. To sit with the voices, the cravings, the regrets, the demons, and to face them without running. He realizes that the battlefield is not out there. It begins within. Can you sit in a room alone with no distractions and hear your own thoughts without flinching? Most cannot. They'll squirm. They'll panic. They'll reach for a phone, a bottle, a screen. But the warrior doesn't. The warrior embraces the discomfort because he knows discomfort is the forge of growth. Silence is a blade. It cuts away the lies you tell yourself. It cuts away the masks you wear for others. It carves down to the raw truth of who you are. And once you've seen that truth, no one can manipulate you again. This is why silence must be mastered. Without silence, you are at the mercy of the world's noise. You are tossed by every headline, swayed by every opinion, broken by every distraction. But with silence, you are immovable. You become anchored in something deeper than chaos. And so the honorable warrior trains his silence like a muscle. He sets aside time each day to retreat from the noise. He does not need music to calm him, nor screens to entertain him, nor crowds to validate him. He is enough. He listens to the whispers of his own spirit, and in those whispers, he finds direction. The coward fears silence. The masses avoid it. But the honorable warrior knows that silence is the well from which strength is drawn. Silence is where vision sharpens. Silence is where discipline is forged. Silence is where the voice of truth drowns out the hiss of the megaphone. So let this law carve itself into your bones. Master silence. Walk into the void. Do not fear the mirror. In the stillness of your own soul, you will find truth. And once you find truth, you will never again bow to the noise of the world. Law 3. Embrace pain as bond and weapon. The third law of the honorable warrior is pain, not the avoidance of it, not the escape from it, but the embrace of it. Because pain is not just an enemy. It is a bond, a teacher, a weapon. The masses run from pain like frightened children. They bury themselves in distractions, in food, in substances, in endless noise, because they think avoiding pain will make it disappear. But pain does not vanish. Pain waits. It festers. And when ignored, it grows into despair, regret, weakness. The honorable warrior knows better. He does not fear pain. He does not flee from it. He walks into it willingly, like a soldier stepping onto the battlefield. because he understands what the weak never will. Pain is the great equalizer. Kings bleed, beggars bleed. The rich, the poor, the strong, the broken, all will feel it. It spares no one. Pain binds us all in a silent brotherhood, a thread connecting humanity beyond illusions of class, creed, or power. It is the one language that cannot be faked, and the warrior learns to speak it fluently. But pain is more than bond. It is also transformation. Pain is the forge where the soft flesh of weakness is burned away and the steel of resilience is formed. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every ache is proof that you endured what others could not. Pain is not proof of fragility. It is proof of strength. Ask yourself, when have you grown most in your life? Was it during comfort? Was it when everything was easy, soft, predictable? No. Your growth was carved from hardship. It was born in the nights you thought you wouldn't survive. It was forged in the struggles that broke you down and rebuilt you stronger. Comfort lulls you to sleep. Pain wakes you up. The honorable warrior does not curse pain. He bows to it as a master. He studies it, accepts it, and turns it into fuel. He does not waste suffering on pity. He transforms suffering into power. And here lies the deeper secret. Pain, when embraced, becomes a weapon. Because once you stop fearing it, no one can control you with it. The system thrives on fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of rejection. They control you by threatening pain. But what happens when you no longer fear it? What happens when you welcome it? When you wield it? Then, you are untouchable. The honorable warrior looks at pain and says, "Strike me, cut me, burn me. I will not break. Every blow makes me sharper. Every wound makes me wiser. Every scar makes me unshakable." And in that moment, pain ceases to be suffering. It becomes a weapon of war, a shield against manipulation, a hammer to shape destiny, a fire to ignite unyielding will. So the honorable warrior does not numb himself. He does not seek shortcuts. He does not anesthetize his spirit. He embraces pain fully because he knows that through pain, he becomes more than flesh and bone. He becomes spirit, forged in fire, indestructible. Remember this, pain is not your enemy. Pain is your initiation. Pain is your bond with humanity, and your weapon against those who seek to chain you. The coward flees from pain and dies 1,000 deaths. The warrior embraces pain and lives forever in strength. Law 4. Protect unity. The fourth law of the honorable warrior is unity. Not the shallow, performative unity preached by the megaphone. Not the fake slogans painted on billboards by corporations who profit from division. True unity, the kind forged in silence, tempered by pain, and held in honor. The enemy's greatest weapon is not bullets. It is not bombs. It is division. If they can pit brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, they never have to lift a finger. We destroy ourselves for them. We become our own executioners, and the ghost behind the curtain feasts. Look at the world. Endless fighting over flags, labels, and teams. Families torn apart over politics. Friends divided over beliefs handed to them by the very system that profits from their hatred. Do you not see the trick? Do you not see the theater? Every ounce of energy spent in rage at one another is energy stolen from the fight that actually matters. The honorable warrior refuses to play this game. He knows the enemy is not his brother. The enemy is not the man across the street, nor the stranger who thinks differently. The true enemy is the ghost whispering poison into both their ears. The honorable warrior sees through it. He remembers. He remembers that we are fingers of the same hand, roots of the same tree. He knows that what he wishes upon another will come back upon himself. To curse his brother is to curse his own spirit. To hate his neighbor is to poison his own blood. This does not mean the warrior is naive. He does not confuse unity with weakness. He does not pretend everyone is good. He does not lower his guard to those who would betray him. But he knows the difference between true enemies and illusions of enemies. He knows when division is a lie. Unity, for the warrior, is not softness. It is strategy. Alone, a single finger can be broken. But when the hand closes into a fist, it can shatter stone. Unity is strength multiplied. Unity is resistance made unbreakable. The honorable warrior protects unity because he understands this principle. A divided people cannot rise, but a united people cannot fall. So the warrior does not feed hatred. He does not let himself become a pawn in the games of polarity. He stands as a guardian of truth, reminding those around him of their bond, even when they've forgotten. He will speak hard truths, even if it means being hated, because he knows that truth restores unity, and unity restores strength. The weak think unity means agreeing on everything. No, unity means remembering the bond even when we disagree. It means refusing to let the ghost's whisper turn us against our own. It means holding the line together, because only together can we resist the machine. This is why the honorable warrior protects unity as if it were sacred, because it is. Understand this. The enemy fears our unity more than our anger, more than our weapons, more than our numbers. Unity is their nightmare. It cannot be bought. It cannot be controlled. It cannot be manipulated. Unity is the one force that burns their empire to the ground. So carve this law into your spirit. Protect unity. Guard it as you would your life. Do not be deceived into hating your own. Do not waste your strength on false enemies. Together we are unbreakable. Divided, we are already conquered. The honorable warrior chooses unity not because it is easy, but because it is the only path to victory. Law 5. Live as music maker, dreamer of dreams. The fifth law of the honorable warrior is creation. To live as the music maker. To live as the dreamer of dreams. This law is not about comfort, nor about fantasy. It is about defiance. It is about choosing to create when the world demands that you consume. It is about daring to dream when the system insists you stay asleep. The ghost behind the curtain does not fear your anger. They expect it. They manipulate it. They feed it with daily doses of outrage. Anger alone is predictable. But what they cannot control, what they cannot cage, is your ability to imagine, to create, to dream. Because the dreamer does not play by their rules. The dreamer writes his own. The honorable warrior refuses to live as a pawn in someone else's game. He knows that the scripts handed down by the world are designed to keep him docile. Study work, consume, retire, die. That is the script of the sheep. But the warrior is no sheep. He is a wolf, a builder, a creator of new worlds. To live as the music maker is to turn your suffering into song, to turn your scars into stories, to turn your silence into visions of a future no one else can see. The world tries to drown you in noise, but the warrior composes symphonies from that chaos. He bends reality to the rhythm of his own will. And to live as the dreamer of dreams is to refuse the prison of the present. It is to look into the abyss and imagine what could be. It is to take the impossible and make it inevitable. The dreamer does not ask for permission. He does not wait for approval. He dares to envision a life others are too afraid to even whisper about. And then he builds it. Understand this. Dreaming is warfare. Creation is rebellion. Every time you imagine something greater, you strike at the heart of the machine that wants you complacent. Every time you create, instead of consume, you declare independence. Every time you bring something new into existence, you prove the ghost behind the curtain has no hold on you. This is why most people are starved of creativity, why they live recycled lives, why their dreams die before they even reach adolescence. The system starves them of imagination on purpose, because a dreaming mind is a dangerous mind. A mind that imagines is a mind that cannot be fully controlled. The honorable warrior reclaims this gift. He protects his imagination as fiercely as he protects his blade. He dreams not only for himself, but for his people. He dreams for his brothers, his sisters, his tribe. Because his vision lifts all who follow him. His song becomes their anthem. His dream becomes their map. And so the warrior does not live in despair. He does not let himself be shackled by hopelessness. He acknowledges the darkness of the world, yes, but then he dares to create light within it. Not because it is easy, not because it is safe, but because to create is to resist. Remember this, the honorable warrior is not defined by what he destroys, but by what he builds. He is not remembered for the wars he fought, but for the dreams he dared to bring into reality. So carve this into your soul. Live as the music maker. Live as the dreamer of dreams. Refuse to be a pawn. Refuse to be only a consumer of illusions. Create. Imagine. Dream. And through your creation, break the ghost's hold forever. The final law is not about survival. It is about legacy. The honorable warrior knows. When the dust settles, the dreamers are the ones who remain immortal. You have heard the laws, not rules for the weak, not suggestions for the timid, but eternal laws carved from blood, silence, and fire. The code of the honorable warrior. First, you must see beyond the illusion. Refuse the cage. Refuse the division. Refuse to waste your life screaming over puppets, while the hand behind the strings robs you blind. Open your eyes. See the enemy for what it is, the ghost behind the curtain, and cut through its lies. Second, you must master silence. While the world drowns itself in noise, you must train your soul in stillness. Enter the void others fear. Stare into the mirror of your mind. For only in silence will you hear the truth. Only in silence will you reclaim your strength. Third, you must embrace pain, not run from it, not numb it, not curse it. Welcome it as bond, as teacher, as weapon. Pain is what binds us, what shapes us, what arms us. The coward flees from pain. The warrior feeds on it and rises immortal. Fourth, you must protect unity. Never let yourself be turned against your own. Do not waste your blade on false enemies. Alone, a single finger breaks. Together, the hand becomes a fist that shatters stone. Unity is our strength, our shield, our rebellion. Guard it as sacred. Fifth, you must live as music maker, dreamer of dreams. Refuse to live as a pawn. Create when they tell you to consume. Dream when they tell you to despair. For every vision you bring into this world is a strike against the machine. Legacy belongs to those who dare to dream. These 5 laws are not philosophy. They are survival. They are warfare. They are the code that separates the sheep from the wolves, the cowards from the warriors, the broken from the unbreakable. And now you must decide. Will you close your eyes and return to the illusion, lining up for the slaughter with the rest? Or will you rise as the honorable warrior, seeing truth, mastering silence, embracing pain, protecting unity, and creating a legacy no ghost can erase? The choice is yours. The time is now, and the law is eternal. Rise, warrior. Live by the code. Carve these laws into your soul, and let the world remember that you did not bow. You stood,